Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. The city of Cleveland, along with community leaders, gathered to celebrate Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Heritage Day this month. It's the 8th year the LGBT celebration was held at the Cleveland City Hall Rotunda. Mayor Frank Jackson was in attendance honoring members for their community efforts and contributions in and around Northeast Ohio. The Heritage Day ceremony is held annually during the second week in October to coincide with National LGBT History Month and Coming Out Day. Awardees say progress is happening in the community.
Well, there are some people today that think equality for LGBTQ Americans is a dangerous idea that should not be talked about. And through discriminatory legislation and fear-mongering, they're trying to take away our voice. But we are strong, and we are love, and we're going to keep on talking.
The LGBT Community Center will be building a new facility in Gordon Square Arts District. Construction is set to begin in 2017. The month of October represents Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and organizations around Cleveland were holding workshops and forums to help bring an end to this issue. This workshop at Bethany Baptist Church was called the Stop the Violence, Love Your Neighbor Youth Rally. This was just one of the many initiatives being highlighted to bring awareness to domestic violence problems. The CDC reports that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men aged 18 and older have been victims of domestic violence. Organizers want people to know that there are people out there to give assistance to victims.
Well, even if they're not suffering or experiencing domestic violence in their household today, they know someone. The signs, they should be able to witness the signs and know when something, be able to tell them and pass this resource information on that there is help out there, whether it's moving out of the house, taking a stand, getting someone to be in your corner and support you.
This workshop is part 3 in the series in which self-defense is taught to give people the option to defend themselves without weapons if a situation occurs. The program is called SAVE, which stands for Strategies Against Violent Encounters. The Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department held this self-defense class, and organizers say it's vital to know how to defend and protect yourself.
This is in light of if you're outside of domestic violence or if you're in a domestic violence situation, you want to be able to know how to safely get yourself away and get out of that volatile situation.
The workshops and seminars were all part of the 2nd annual Cleveland Police Says No More to Domestic Violence initiative. Domestic Violence Awareness Month evolved from an event held back in 1981 by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. The Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center celebrated 40 years of hope and healing to the greater Cleveland community at their annual Break the Silence, Break the Cycle luncheon. Linda Johannick, CEO of the center, reflected on the past 40 years.
Our 3 founding agencies began the pioneer work of offering safety and services to abused children and adults, offering hope and actually saving lives.
The keynote presentation was given by Amanda Berry. Prior to the luncheon, Amanda was signing copies of her book, Hope, a Memoir of Survival in Cleveland, for those in attendance. Amanda sat down to speak with MC Danita Harris and spoke about what kept her strong during her time in captivity.
I definitely watched the news like anytime because I never knew what my family was going to be on, so they were a lot of my strength. And when I seen them, that gave me the strength to keep going. So that definitely kept a lot of my time.
The luncheon ended with the presentation of awards to several individuals, including Plain Dealer reporter Rachel Dissel for her body of work dealing with violence against women and children.
And it's interesting that this is the Power of One award because I really feel like I'm one person, but the real power is in all the people, many who are in this room, who have shared with me their experience and knowledge so I can write stories that show the complexities that play into domestic violence and also the complexities that allow our children to be harmed.
For more information on the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center, visit their website at dvcac.org. 20 proud Cuyahoga County residents graduated from the Greater Cleveland Drug Court this past October. One by one, graduates came to the stage for the 53rd annual ceremony. The drug court program is offered to a defendant who has only one nonviolent felony conviction and is chemically dependent. Since the drug court began, almost 1,600 people have gone on to graduate and 70% remain sober and drug-free. Many of the graduates were addicted to heroin, and they say the drug court program is saving and changing lives.
I feel great. I'll have 9 months uninterrupted sobriety tomorrow. The Vivitrol shot, I did it for about 6 months. Weaned myself off of it. And I mean, ever since, things have just been positive. I got a job at Volunteers of America. I'm a manager now. I've been there a few months. I'm married. I have a kid. My life's great.
The drug court program began in the Cleveland Municipal Court in 1998, and since then it has expanded throughout Cuyahoga County. National Lead Prevention Week kicked off in Cleveland with a ceremony and information fair that was held in the rotunda of Cleveland City Hall. Reporter Dan Monroe was there and brings us this story.
We've had a tremendous amount of focus on lead in our communities, and we really want to make sure that we strengthen our partnerships with all the organizations in and around Cleveland to make sure that we stop using children as canaries and try to prevent as much lead poisoning as possible here in our community.
Strong words from Director Merle Gordon of the Cleveland Department of Public Health as the City of Cleveland kicked off National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. During his remarks, Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson said the remedy for the lead problem comes through innovation and collaboration.
It will take real private-public partnership and expenditures of tens of billions of dollars to really remedy this. Lead is everywhere. And if we're going to really make an impact, we're going to have to do some things that are innovative. But those innovative things will cost money. Again, in my opinion, tens of billions of dollars just in Cleveland itself.
Director Gordon says that if you have children under the age of 6 at home, then there are some things that you should do right away.
Well, first of all, if there are children under the age of 6 in that home, they should be tested, and they can call the Cleveland Department of Public Health and have that child tested. They could also go to their pediatrician and have that child tested. The other things, there are a number of general maintenance things that they can do in the home. You can wet mop the floors and other surfaces and really keep it clean. Another recommendation is to take your shoes off when you come into the house so you're not tracking in dust that might contain lead into the home.
For more information on lead poisoning, visit the Cleveland Department of Public Health's website at clevelandhealth.org.
Concerned community members gathered to help bring an end to suicide and violence in the Cleveland area. The event is called Dancing for Life, and the Tyree Black organization held the second annual Praise Dance Fest and panel discussion to help fight suicide and violence in our area. Dancing for Life was started in memory of 13-year-old Tyree Black, who took his life back in August of 2014. Organizers say people need to know that there is help out there for people who are suffering and what the community can do to help prevent suicide.
So over the years we've dealt with this issue. I've come to believe that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because so many people are in pain, particularly in our community, whether it be depression, whether it be health issues, whether it be things that they're just dealing with in everyday life. And so, again, I too just want to be a part of the solution rather than part of the problem, and for us to acknowledge how important this issue is.
Everyone who has lost a child through either suicide or some violence, you have my deepest sympathy.
Organizers say the event was aimed at spreading a positive message of hope in the community, and they believe they accomplished their goal. The City of Cleveland celebrated the 60th anniversary of Hungary's independence over communism. Residents gathered at Cleveland City Hall Rotunda to commemorate the Hungarian Revolution and their freedom fight of 1956. The Hungarian Revolution was not recognized until 1989, when the Berlin Wall came down. The Hungarian Revolution of 1956 was the start of the events that eventually led to the fall of communism in Eastern Europe, which brought thousands of immigrants to Ohio.
This is an extremely important event. Many people don't recognize that Cleveland, Ohio was the largest Hungarian community outside of Budapest.
You know, Cleveland is a very diverse city. And part of our personality and character is that diversity, and what that diversity has lent to Cleveland to help develop who we are as a city. And the Hungarian community is essential to making us who we are today.
The Hungarian flag with the communist coat of arms was blacked out. The original flag with a hole cut out was the country's symbol against communism. The Black Professionals Association Charitable Foundation welcomed their second guest speaker to Berkeley Lakefront Airport to speak about leadership in the African American community. This is part of an ongoing series that kicked off with Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson as their first speaker.
And so our lineup of speakers and past honorees includes a variety of people who have one thing in common, and that is that they are committed to professional excellence and they're leaders in their industry.
Networking specialist George Frazier was the guest speaker this evening, who spoke about the importance of making connections to advance your professional career.
This program is really a word or two from Cleveland's leaders. And from good to great, where do we go? What's in the future for Cleveland? And my personal vision for Cleveland for the next generation, the next perhaps century or so. And so I'm really excited to sit with the best and brightest in our community and to submit to their questions and to be a part of this series. I'm actually honored to be even selected as part of the series. So
he's known as a networking and wealth creation guru, but his story is so unique in that he has had to overcome personal situations. He's had to overcome becoming an orphan. He's had to overcome educational obstacles, not having the funding to go to college. And that story really resonates with our target audience because the majority of our scholars are first-generation college students. They're low and moderate income. And so we really want to show people in this community that you can face many challenges in life, but it's really how you respond and how you react in any given situation that will determine your future and your success.
Mr. Frazier spoke to a crowd of business professionals eager to gain some insight and tips for advancing their careers.
That as you get older and wiser, your emotional intelligence, the ability to manage the 5 most important emotions in your body and to use the management of those emotions to cultivate, nurture, and to build relationships at work, at home, and in the community will determine your entire life.
For more information on the Black Professional Association's Leadership Speaker Series, visit their website, bpacf.org. When we return, we're going to find out who is considered the best in Cleveland in 2016. We'll be right back with more TV20 News.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back to TV20 News. Hundreds came out to celebrate Cleveland Magazine's 11th annual Best of Cleveland party at Public Hall. It was an evening of great food, fun, and celebration. Guests were able to sample some of the winners' best at the annual soiree. All the winners were selected by readers and editors of Cleveland Magazine.
Yeah, to be counted with the Best of Cleveland and all the top entertainment, I mean, it's a huge honor. I'm so glad to be here.
How can you not love it? Everything is happening in Cleveland right now. It's a fantastic place to be. I grew up here and I couldn't be prouder.
This is such a great year for Cleveland with the Cavs and the Indians and Stipe. And so this is so much fun to put together. And you know, with the ring, Cleveland deserves a ring, right? And so it's so much fun to be able to honor all of these award winners.
Not only was it a great party, the event also showcased our championship city while raising money for the breakthrough schools of Greater Cleveland. Cleveland's Edgewater neighborhood is getting a much-needed grocery store and some new townhomes. There was a groundbreaking ceremony at the intersection of West 117th Street and Clifton Boulevard. The neighborhood will soon be getting a Lucky supermarket, retail stores, and townhouses. For decades, a city-owned 90-year-old church stayed vacant and was an eyesore in the community, but that's going to change soon, and Edgewater residents are happy about the upcoming construction project.
The neighborhood is very excited about having Lucky's come and the other retail businesses. And for myself personally, I love the fact that after nearly 50 years, we will again have people living on this block with the 11 townhomes that Brickhouse will be building.
There was also a time capsule buried in the church, which was opened, and inside there were newspapers and books from the 1920s. A groundbreaking took place at Britt Oval in the Buckeye neighborhood on a new housing development. The new housing will be directly across from St. Luke's Manor, and so the development will be called Legacy at St. Luke's. Joel Ratner, the president and CEO of the Cleveland Neighborhood Progress, says the housing will include townhouses and single-family dwellings and will appeal to a wide variety of people.
We're targeting employees at University Circle, so for the hospitals, Veterans Hospital, Cleveland Clinic, UH, obviously Case Western Reserve, and many other institutions, tens of thousands of employees that are just half a mile away. And like everyone, they're interested in quality, safe, affordable housing. And many people are interested and really attracted to the new construction that this represents. So building it here in this place is really important, and we think it's a connection to the Buckeye neighborhood.
At the groundbreaking ceremony, Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson said the planning and execution of Legacy at St. Luke's reflects the spirit of the Buckeye neighborhood.
In order for these things to work, it takes tenacity and persistence. And that is really a comment on this neighborhood and the people who have been involved in this project for years. And because of that, that's why this is happening.
After the speeches concluded came the ceremonial groundbreaking.
1, 2, 3.
For more information on the Legacy at St. Luke's housing development, visit their website at clevelandnp.org. Teen actress Desiree Ross came to Cleveland to speak to young girls interested in the performing arts. She came here through an organization called Saving Our Daughters. We sent reporter Dan Monroe to the Wyndham Hotel in Cleveland to learn more.
It was a very special treat for young girls from the Cleveland area as they had a chance to meet with an actual Hollywood teen actress. Desiree Ross is the star of the TV show Greenleaf on the OWN network. She stopped by the Wyndham in Cleveland to share her story, pose for pictures, and take questions from the audience.
And so I'm just coming here and I'm going to tell them about what I do. I'm an actress on a TV show called Greenleaf, and just kind of give them some encouragement and play some games and whatnot.
Desiree was brought to Cleveland thanks to an organization called Saving Our Daughters. The organization is run by former Clevelander Curtis Benjamin.
It's basically a performing arts program, charity that we started, my wife and I started years ago in memory of our daughter who passed away of a brain tumor. So in her memory, we created Saving Our Daughters to help young girls of all multicultural backgrounds who are interested in theater and performing arts, and to deter from bullying. And we're bringing young girls from three different schools that are actually going to be having a class with Miss Desiree Ross.
Working in the business as long as she has, Desiree has some pretty good advice for anyone interested in becoming an actor.
But I think the one thing that I would tell them is to just persevere, because it took me over 150 auditions, I think, to get my first gig, which took a lot of hard work. So, yeah, just perseverance. You can't really get anything done if you don't just keep trying. You fall and then you have to get back up.
For more information on Saving Our Daughters, visit their website at savingourdaughters.org.
Congratulations to Mr. Darrell Fields, who, after 26 years, is retiring from the City of Cleveland's Department of Building and Housing. Darrell says Cleveland runs through his blood.
Being part of City of Cleveland, working with the people of City of Cleveland. I was born and raised in Cleveland. I'm a Vietnam vet. I fought for this city. I came back with pride and honor. And just to have an opportunity to work for the city that I was born and raised in and love so much, it's been a big honor for me.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson met with Mr. Fields to congratulate him on his retirement and to present him with a proclamation that commemorates his years of service to the city. Photos were taken with the mayor and Darrell's colleagues, who were also there to show support and to wish him well. So, what does the next chapter in Darrell's life look like now that he's retired?
At this point, I work for the Cavaliers. I work in security. I've been there 16 years. So I think I'll work there another couple of years and do a little bit of traveling. Man, I have my mother, she's up in age, so just looking after my mother and not getting up early in the morning.
Everyone here at TV20 would like to wish Mr. Fields the best on his retirement. Well, people weren't just trick-or-treating for Halloween. Some people laced up their running shoes for a good cause. Hundreds of people hit the pavement for the 15th annual Halloween Run for Justice. Some participants dressed up in great costumes and even brought their pets along for some exercise. The event featured a 5-mile 5K and 1-mile runs, or you could walk it as well. All proceeds from the fundraising run benefit the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation and its programs that help others.
The money is raised for the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association's programs that we call them the Justice for All programs. Those programs benefit the youth of our community, people who can't afford legal services, the arts, nonprofits. It's really, really terrific, impactful programs.
But I want to really thank the foundation for the work that they're doing with our schools, their 3R program, and how that is really paying off and helping young people learn, helping young people see a better future.
So far, the Halloween Run for Justice has raised almost $5 million for their programs. Jefferson Park on Cleveland's west side was turned into a haunted hollow this past Halloween. Thousands of people from Ward 16 came out for a fun, safe Halloween family festival. It was the second annual Haunted Hollow, which included trick-or-treating in the park, horse-drawn wagon rides for the whole family, arts and crafts, plus pumpkin carving. The event was sponsored by Councilman Brian Casey, who says the event brings the community closer together.
And last year we had such a great turnout. We had over 3,000 people for the event. We decided to continue the tradition, and this year we're anticipating probably around 5,000 people will attend.
More than 50 neighborhood vendors volunteered and donated to make sure everyone had a safe and fun time at the Haunted Hollow event. Once again, the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo became the go-to place for spooky family fun with their annual Boo at the Zoo event. The zoo's executive director, Dr. Christopher Kuhar, says this is a great way to enjoy Halloween with the animals.
But it's a great opportunity to come out and have some really fun Halloween fun, but with an animal twist, right? So we've got the animals out, we've got a lot of great activities, costume characters, so it's great for the whole family.
To turn up the spookiness level, Jim Nemeth, the zoo's education manager, would like to introduce you to his friend, the python.
Well, the animal that I'm holding here is one of our ambassador animals from Conservation Education. It is called a Brettles python. It's an Australian snake, and like everything else at Boo at the Zoo, we want to say it's spooky but not scary. So when we introduce the folks to snakes like this, well, we don't want them to be scared of it. If they want to come over and check it out, they're able to touch it on the back. It's full grown and right around 6 feet long, so that's as big as it's going to get.
The rain didn't keep away the little ghouls and goblins from coming out to see their favorite costume characters. Batman, Captain America, Black Widow, and Spider-Man greeted the youngsters as soon as they entered the zoo. With attractions like the hay maze, those who attended this year's Boo at the Zoo were guaranteed to have a fun and not so scary time. Well, that's all for TV20 News. I'm Leah Haslage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.